here we are. This is Sex Love Psychedelics, and I'm your host, Dr. Kat, bringing you psychosexual conversations that will leave you intellectually turned on and hungry for more.
Yeah. I'm curious in your experience. Well, I guess before I say that, I've been working with a vocal trainer, learning song and accessing my voice. And it's been so interesting because she shared with me that by listening to my voice and hearing the notes that were missing, that I couldn't hit or that weren't really like solid, she could tell me more about my experience or unhealed
For sure.
corners of my being.
Yes.
And I was like, girl, that's some witchy shamanic shit right there. And it was so interesting because she was giving me cues that changed not only my whole sound, but I noticed that I even felt differently in my body. So can we talk about, like, maybe you could shed some light on using the voice specifically to help heal?
Yeah, for sure. You said something a couple minutes ago about how much orgasmic energy is and how our bodies can't hold it. So we do whatever we can to like eat it away, throw it away,
Oh,
shove it
yeah.
away because it's like too much.
Yeah.
You can use your own voice to stabilize that energy within the body. And it is this voice work. My response to that, what your statement was going to be like, and that's where the vocal transformation method comes in.
Yes.
Because literally your voice is the tuning fork of your body. And by using it in very specific ways, you create the ability, the capacity to hold, to open, to express, and to be more vibrationally powerful through the power of your voice. So the way that it would work when you talk about for healing, we start the vocal transformation method. There's singing and there's all these other things involved in what we do, but we start the method with a chanting practice that runs up the entire chakra system. So chanting is a way, as a single tone, that you're going to send into a resonator of the body again and again and again and again, and just begin to open the resonance of that area and move out what is being stored in there. So when I say the word chakra, very often people get like, oh, she's woo-woo, she's esoteric, she's whatever, she's some spiritual thing. But it's really anatomically present in the body.
Yeah.
So a chakra is a group of nerve endings that sit in clusters at different points of the body, except of course for the crown, which is coming in and we're receiving it if we could stay open.
Yeah.
But other than that, we are looking at an anatomical process. So the vagus nerve, the largest cranial nerve of the brain, is running down in control of our parasympathetic, sympathetic nervous system. So whether or not we are in rest and repair or we are in fight, flight, or freeze mode. And so we want to live our lives in parasympathetic, but most of us live in sympathetic, right? And that nervous system then ties into these clusters of nerves that feed into those areas of the body and are informing through your nervous system all the corresponding organs of that area of the body, which we would call chakras, right? Okay, so with that, when you get your voice supported correctly, so it all has to do with how you support the voice and where you're sending your sound in your body. But when you get your voice supported correctly, which is going to be down in those muscles, there's like 3 muscle support groups: the perineum, the rectus abdominis, and the obliques. So 3 muscle groups that support the tone at the base of the body. And then you send sound through these other areas, stimulating those nerve endings, opening up the electromagnetic field that creates, which we all have all the time. We are an electromagnetic field, 7 different layers of field that are moving, connecting into the entire grid of energy. This is the whole quantum world that we live in. And the way that those energetics move out of our body are what comes into our world and what leaves our world. And this is how the whole thing communicates. So we are an antenna transmitting a signal. And we're also an antenna that's receiving signals all the time. And that's how the whole entire biofield works, right? Like that's how we live. You can take your own voice and go inside and really claim the space of that part of your body using your voice, same sound again and again and again. This is how it starts. Then we learn how to melody and sing and all that. But first, we just go into that part of the body and we open it up. And a process of chanting for our method is 40 days, at least 108 times a day, which is one full mala. And you go in and you just reset the system.
Uh-huh. Wow.
What comes up during that time is old memories, old emotions,
Yeah.
old patterns, everything. They just come and then they go out. And you are new again. You can keep whatever you choose to keep. Like nobody says you have to get rid of any of it. But for anybody in this world, whatever story you're telling yourself that keeps you out of the conversation of I am in my alignment, I am healed, I am abundant, I am beautiful, I am the creatrix of this whole thing, life is good, I love it here, this is my playground. Like any part of you that doesn't feel that way is a story. And because we keep telling that story, we actually keep living that story, and centuries old. Like you want to talk, you could heal epigenetic trauma with your own voice.
Wow. Like as in the disrupted mitochondria
As
part
in
of
the
epigenetics?
DNA, yeah, as in like the DNA that feeds your body,
Yeah.
that tells the story of what you're
Uh-huh.
going to do. You can literally bring sound frequency.
Uh-huh.
And people do it with forks and bowls and
Yeah.
gongs, but we have the first tool. It's our voice.
Yeah.
And that's first, right? So for people who've been silenced and who are tight and don't know how to do this, well, okay, go get your tuning forks. Like get something. Go get
Yeah. Wow.
But Creator gave us it already. We didn't need anything else.
Well, that was fun. Thanks for tuning in, lovers. And if you want to experience more ecstasy and sexual liberation, head over to sexlovepsychedelics.com and learn about how you can join me for any one of my online or live events. And while you're there, grab my free guide on sex and psychedelics. Remember, this podcast is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Please contact your healthcare provider and local law before pursuing any of the products or psychedelics discussed. And one final note here. I make this show specifically for you. If you're loving the show, then be sure to leave me a review in iTunes or Spotify to let me know. Happy to be here and happy to serve. I'll see you next time on Sex Love Psychedelics.